Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Tips from the Top. Tonight we have one of my very favorite jewel ambassadors, the very beautiful Melissa Amos. Melissa is an Emerald ambassador, and I have had the honor and privilege of meeting her through this journey. She is a phenomenal, very, very strong leader, and I am so excited for her to share her testimony and some of her amazing tips with you all tonight. So I'm just going to go ahead and turn it over to you, Melissa.
Awesome. Thanks, Angie. Some of you may know me, some of you are on my team, and some of you are not, but I'm just going to tell you guys kind of my story super quick. I signed up as a preferred customer in February of 2015 because I was suffering with some severe GI issues. I had no desire whatsoever to work this business. I'm going to be totally honest with you. I even told Lindsay that, and I said, this is not for me. I'm just going to be a customer. And eventually, obviously, I fell in love with the product. It completely changed my health. My husband started taking the products, and so I said, okay, well, I'll try to get it at a cheaper price. And so in March, I signed up as a wholesale ambassador. You know how that kind of goes. And I just kind of, my husband was super skeptical about, the budget part of it. And he really kind of was like, okay, you're going to take these products. This is not in our budget. That extra $100-something a month is not technically in our budget. So I would really love for you to just figure out a way to at least get your products paid for. And I said, okay, that's fair. I can do that. And so I just started kind of sharing with a couple people. And I will tell you, it just kind of snowballed from there. I never really intended on doing this, but I'm so thankful that this business came into my life. I can tell you that it has completely changed our finances. We went from just solely relying on my husband's income, which he does do well. I mean, he's a military officer, so he makes decent money. But, we didn't have a lot of extra. We weren't, anytime we wanted to go on a trip, we just put it all on the credit card and paid it off for the next 6 months. Christmas went all on the credit card, and we paid it off until March or April of, into the next year. And we weren't living in a massive amount of debt, but we were not living fiscally responsibly, I would say. I mean, we weren't financially responsible. We, always had a car payment. We were just getting by. And, when this business kind of started to pick up for me, I kind of realized at that point that, gosh, I really could do so much for our family. We could start putting more into savings. We could start paying off debt. We could live and do these things that we really wanted to do for our family, like go on these vacations and create all these memories without having to create this huge amount of debt. And so I think it was probably Leaders Retreat that first year. So I signed up in March and I went to Leaders Retreat that October. And I'll be honest, I was already a senior gold. I think I might have even been a ruby by that point. And I really was enjoying the journey. It was fun. I was enjoying the money part of it, but I really had not, I never thought that I could make it to the jewel level. Even at senior gold and ruby, I never even imagined that I could make it to that level. That was kind of what Julia did. That was kind of what Angie did. Like that was their thing. I never really thought that it was ever could be me. And when I went to Leaders Retreat, and people tell you all the time that leaders are born in events. And I will tell you that was the moment when my whole mentality changed about this. I saw people around me that were just normal people. They had just kind of stumbled into this business like I had. And I thought, if they can do this, I can do this. And it kind of lit a fire up under me. And that was the moment that I truly, 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 if I'm honest, really drew my line in the sand and said, I am going to be a jewel. I don't care how long it takes. I don't care what I have to do as far as how hard I have to work or the things that I have to sacrifice, whether it's sleep or whether, I have to really buckle down and do this. I am going to do this. And the rest is history. I went Emerald that next March and still working. And I will tell you to this day, I don't care how long it takes me, but I'm going to be a diamond one day. If it takes me 6 years from now, I'm going to be a diamond because I know that it's possible and I know how life-changing that income is. And, you know, if it's just to be able to set my kids up, you know, for college or whatever, I want that for myself and for my family. But some things that you know, this is tips from the top, so you don't want to hear all about my story online. But I will tell you that when I was sitting down to make my list of things that I wanted to share with you guys tonight, it was not things that I picked up at the beginning. These are not tips that I have, you know, just was natural things that I started doing. It was things that I have learned over the course of the last 2 years. And if I could go back and tell myself anything at the beginning, or at the silver level, or at the gold level, or even at the senior gold or ruby level, these are the things that I would love to go back a year and a half to 2 years ago and tell myself and sit down and say, do these things right now. And I kind of broke it down into 8 little parts. So if you're taking notes or whatever and you want to jot them down, fine. If you just want to listen, that's great. But I just kind of jotted down these 8 things that, gosh, if I just had told myself this a year and a half or 2 years ago, I could be doing so much better right now, maybe. I don't know. But I've learned so much along the way that these are the real things, the meat of it that I've picked up. Number one, and I think this is the most important, is deciding that you are going all in. Drawing your line in the sand. I mentioned that I had done that at Leaders Retreat, you know, I guess a little over a year and a half ago. And I will tell you that if you are not to that point, if you are not where you can say, I am all in, I'm doing this, I don't care what it takes, I am doing this. You got to get there. Because if you're not there, it's going to be harder for you. It's going to be, you know, those days when you're kind of, I don't really feel like working today. You're not going to work if you don't have that line drawn in the sand. Sometimes it takes really knowing your why. Sometimes it takes looking at the people around you and saying, how is their life going to be different? We say this all the time, but if you really think about it, how are my kids' lives going to be different? How's my husband's life going to be different? You know, what does our future look like 5 years from now if I do this? And that is all part of just saying, I'm drawing my line in the sand and I am going to make this happen no matter what it takes, no matter how hard I have to work or how much I have to sacrifice. And I'm not talking about sacrificing time with your family. I'm talking about sacrificing your things that you just maybe like to do, your shows you like to watch, your games you like to play, or whatever you like to do. Just sacrificing things throughout your day so that you can work your business. So that to me is one of the most important things. You've got to decide that you are going all in. Number 2 is follow the leader. We've heard this say our entire life, you know, follow the leader, you know, when you were little and you got in the line and you followed the leader. But in this business, we have leaders. We have Angie, we have Julia, we have Andrea, we have Ellen, we have Celeste, we have Roz. We have all these amazing jewels above us who have gone before us and who have done this. And they've all basically used the exact same system. There's no sense in reinventing the wheel. We just do what they tell us to do. And to me, following what they have done and following their leadership has been the best thing that I could do for my business, because in the end, they've kind of perfected it. I think they can prove that because they're all diamonds. So they know how to get it done and they know what to do. So if you're looking at how they do it, I'm not going to do it that way. Okay, you know, that's fine, but it might take you longer and it might be a little bit harder for you because they know what it takes to get where they are and be successful. So follow the leader. Why not? They know how to do it and they've been there and they've done it. They bought the t-shirt. Number 3, don't make excuses. We're all busy. You aren't special. And y'all, those of you who know me and are on my team kind of know that I'm a little bit blunt and to the point. I've heard people say along the way, well, I know that you can do this and that you have time to do this, but it's because you're a stay-at-home mom, or, you know, you only work a part-time job, or, you know, I've heard so many things. We're all busy. Even stay-at-home moms are so busy. We have got so much to keep up with and so much to do. We are all busy. But I realize that those of you who work full-time jobs, it's hard. But there are people that have gone before you that have worked full-time jobs and have still made it happen. And so I will tell you this, don't make excuses. Find time to work this business. Throw your excuses out the window and get down to business, because everybody can make excuses. You know, we can say, well, this week's just a hard week. I'm just really busy this week. Or, you know, next week I'm moving and I can't work my business that week because I'm moving. Or, you know, my grandmother's in the hospital and I've had to go take care of her and I'm just really busy. You know, I have watched a mom on my team be in the hospital with her daughter for 127 days. And she worked her business every single day. And she was diligent and she stuck with it. And she didn't make excuses, because she said, you know what? When my daughter gets out of this hospital, she's going to need me even more. And we're going to need financial support to help pay her medical bills. So I have got to do this. She had drawn her line in the sand and she threw out her excuses. So number 4, don't focus on the pace, focus on the prize. Some of you we're all running in this race, and some of you are going at a slower pace, and some of you are going at a lightning speed pace. It doesn't necessarily matter what pace you're running at. If that's the pace you want to run at, and that's what you're comfortable running at, don't focus on the pace you're running. Focus on the end goal. The end goal is diamond. We all know that. That is the end goal. And if your pace is a little bit slower and it takes you 6 years to get to diamond, it takes you 3 years to get to diamond, that's totally fine. That's your pace. But don't focus on the pace that you're running. Focus on the end goal. And that kind of leads me into the next point, is don't look around. Comparison is the thief of joy. It will kill your motivation and it will kill your team. It is so easy. There may be some men on this call, but right now I want to talk to the women. It is so easy. And I have done this, and my uplines are laughing right now because I've done this same thing. I've looked around and I've said, oh, that person's going faster than me. Or that person signed up more people on their team than mine did this week. Or, you know, that person's on the leaderboard this week. Or I've looked around at other people and other people's teams, and I have compared and compared and compared. And I will tell you that it took so much joy out of this business for me. I just, you know, I thought, well, I'm just not good enough. I'm not good enough anyway. I might as well just, you know, I guess just slow it down and just, I mean, I'm not going to beat that person, or I'm not going to, you know, and it wasn't really about beating anybody. It was just, I was comparing myself to everybody and I wasn't good enough. And it stole the joy of this business, and it made me not be as appreciative for what I already had. I mean, I'm a jewel. I love the team I have built. I love the income that I'm making. It's life-changing even at this point, but it stole that from me. And I started comparing myself to everyone else. And I will tell you that there was a time when I could feel my team, even though I never voiced this to my team, I could feel the motivation dying for them. You know, it kind of leaks into your team. So don't do that. They tell us all the time to keep your blinders on and go for it. That is so true. Don't look around at the other people in this business and think you're not good enough or you're not doing enough. Their team may be in full momentum at that time, and your team may just kind of be planting seeds at that moment. Well, I tell you, I promise you, the roles are going to reverse soon. You're planting seeds. They're in full momentum. Soon it's going to be you're in full momentum and they're planting seeds. So don't compare yourself to others. Keep your blinders on and keep going. Number 6, and this is something I have had to learn, and I'm still learning how to do this. I'm working on this. Actually, I was working on this today. Build leaders. Duplication is key to continued success. If you don't build leaders on your team will phase out because your leaders will not know how to take care of their downline. We can add and add and add all day. But if we can't be a leader enough to take care of our customers and take care of our team, it's going to start going downhill eventually, because those people are just going to fade out because they're not going to be in communication with their upline or their sponsor. So if you build leaders from the very beginning and teach them how to lead their team, teach them how to take care of their customers, teach them how to take care of their ambassadors, and do that yourself, model that for them. And I will say with building leaders too, kind of maybe you have to handhold a little bit in the beginning, but don't handhold for too long. Don't give your leaders a sense of that security that you are going to do everything for them, because eventually that's all going to come tumbling down. So build leaders and make sure that you have strong leaders in this business who are going to be able to support their own team so that you can continue as a leader to grow your team. It's very, very hard as a leader, and the other Jules will tell you this, to, build this team and build this team and build this team and build this team and try to take care of all those teams plus to grow your own business. It's not possible. You'll stress yourself out and you'll burn out. So you have to create good leaders of those teams so that you can do this and help all of them at the same time. People tell you that you can't burn the candle at both ends, and that's kind of what you do when you don't build good leaders. You're just burning it until you're going to burn out. So number 7 is be your own billboard and market yourself. And I want to talk about this one for just a little bit, because those of you who know me know that I'm very, very passionate about this. Yes, I work out a lot, and I try to be mindful of what I'm putting into my body. Am I always perfect? No, I had a milkshake this weekend because that's what my kids wanted and that's what we got. So I don't always eat perfect, and I don't always, I'm not always the picture of perfect health, but I try to do that. And I try to make sure that what I'm putting out there, especially for the public to see, is that I am, I'm not being negative. I'm not complaining all the time. I'm really trying to, put fun things out there. I like to talk a lot about what my family and I do. We like to travel. We like to go and camp and do different things. And I like for people to see that we're active, because we are. I'm not telling any stories. We really are. I like to be a billboard for my business. This business involves health and wellness. And if you are talking about, well, I sat on the couch and watched Netflix all day today, well, maybe you did, but, that might not be the best thing to post on Facebook. You want people to see that these Plexus products have changed you. And if they haven't, let's revisit what you're taking. Let's revisit how you're taking your products, because they can change your body from the inside out. But you've got to be your own billboard. People do not want to sign up with an ambassador or buy products from someone who does not consider their health and wellness a top priority in their life. Because why would they want to consider theirs a top priority if you're not doing that? So really make sure that you are not just lying about it on Facebook and putting up this picture of something that you're not, but really focusing on taking your health and wellness as a priority in your life. If you don't have an exercise regimen, start doing something. You can do something in your home. You can go walk at night. Really start taking care of yourself and really focusing on your health and wellness, because in the end, we can say all we want on Facebook. We can talk in person to people about health and wellness, but if we're not exhibiting those things on the outside, and I don't mean being skinny. That's not what I'm talking about. We're not taking care of our body and really focusing on exercise and diet and nutrition, people they're not going to take us seriously. So make sure that you're using your body in your health and wellness journey as a billboard for what you want others to come and join. And the very last thing that I have, number 8, is, and this is something that I don't know if Lindsay's on the call, but she's going to laugh when I say this. She had to tell me this the other day, and I wrote it down and I put it up in front of my office space, because it's something that I don't do often enough, but I want to share with you guys because we've all got to make sure that we do this. And that is, give yourself some grace. We are all, I know as a red personality, a little bit of blue, but mostly red, I am very, very hard on myself. And I want to constantly be better and help my team more. And I want to be there all the time for them. And if I mess up, I just beat myself down about it. And it, I want to do more, and I want to be there more for my kids, and I want to be there more for my husband, and I want to do more and go more. And I don't give myself any grace whatsoever. You got to cut yourself a little bit of slack. So, if things aren't going great right now, give yourself a little grace. Sometimes that happens. Life is not perfect. We were not promised an easy road. We were not at all. And so I think sometimes you just have to stop and take a deep breath, give yourself a little grace. You're going to mess up. You're going to say the wrong thing. You're going to do the wrong thing in this business. Sometimes you're going to, really mess it up. But you've got to give yourself just a little bit of wiggle room to just allow yourself those mess ups, because that is how we learn. I have messed up with some of my team before, said the wrong thing, done the wrong thing, and they've called me out on it. And sometimes I've had to learn. And, I was real hard on myself about that. But then I go, that taught me something. It taught me that, I have to deal with different personalities different ways. I have to, do this for this team member and do this. And I have, you're going to learn from all of those things. So just don't take everything so seriously. Enjoy this journey while you're on it, because y'all, it was, and it was meant to be fun. This was not, we're supposed to have freedom. We're supposed to have time freedom. We're supposed to have financial freedom. And this is supposed to be a fun job, because it is. Don't be too hard on yourself and give yourself a little grace. And I want to leave you with this, because I said this to my husband today, and he went, "Oh, that is good." And I went, "Yes." Sometimes you really get excited when you impress people. But I thought about this today, and I thought this kind of is a motto for this business when you're going through it. And it's keep your head down and keep your eyes up. And I mean that, like, keep your head down and just go. When you're running and if you're running really hard at something, you're not keeping your head up and running with your arms flailing around. You've got your head down and you're running straight for the wall. If you've got to hit a wall head on, you're running straight for that wall like a bull. You keep your head down. But what I mean by keep your eyes up is keep your eyes on the prize, and keep your eyes on because I tell you, there are times when I don't want to be an adult that day, or I don't want to, maybe I don't want to really work that day, or maybe I don't want to, cook breakfast for my kids or whatever. Maybe the enemy has crept in and stole my joy that day. And if I didn't have Jesus in my life, I don't think that I would be able to push through days like that. I know I wouldn't. So keep your head down, keep your eye on the prize, keep your eyes up, and you will be successful in this business. That's all I have, Angie. Is she still there?
Myself. I was talking and I was not unmuted. So I love that, Melissa, and I love these tips. And, I really like when you talked about, deciding that you're all in, and how you talked about, drawing your line in the sand and deciding, okay, I'm going to do this. And that does mean when you decide to draw your line in the sand, when you decide that you're going to do this, that may mean that you need to make some sacrifices, that you might need to devote 30 minutes. You might not need to watch your show in the afternoon. And I think that was something that Ellen did in the beginning, was she gave up her show. And during that time was when she worked it. And if you guys, if you make these small sacrifices now, what they may seem like huge sacrifices that you have to make, but just these giving up, your TV show or something like that, and really draw your line in the sand, follow your leaders and follow their example. I'm telling you, this business, these products, this can be the greatest blessing to your life. Seize this opportunity, because I'm telling you, I know for Melissa, I know that for her family, it's been life-changing. I know for Julia's family, I know for my family, and we all want this for you too. And I liked when you talked about following the leader. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. We have a very successful team, y'all. We have one of the most successful teams in Plexus. So, you were on an amazing team with an amazing set of leaders that have all paved the way for you. There is no reason to reinvent the wheel. And really, when it boils down to it, it's just a couple of simple steps that you can do every day to help grow your business. And then, focus on the prize and not comparing yourself. I mean, that has been really huge for me too. And just focusing. I mean, y'all, even if it took me 10 years to be where I'm at today, or even for Melissa to be where she's at today, I mean, Melissa, would it be worth it to be staying at home, have the kind of financial freedom if it took you 10 years?
Absolutely. And I will ask you, I would challenge you, where else can you do that? Where else can you go from 0 to, 6-figure income in a year or even 2 years? I mean, so if it took you 5 years, you can't do that in the corporate world. There is no corporate job out there where you can go from 0 to 6 figures that quick. It doesn't exist.
No.
So this is a once in a lifetime opportunity. It really is.
No, and that's exactly right. Because you know what? I was working 60 hours a week at the title company. And I mean, now it's like what I was making at the title company, I'm making in 2 months with Plexus. Just because I did draw my line in the sand. I did decide that I was going to give up that time, make those small sacrifices, follow my leaders, do what they say, so that I could get to where I am today. And thank you so much for that, Melissa. You really gave some great tips. I took a lot of notes, and I really loved that call. And I'm so very, very thankful for having you on this team. Now, I am going to open it up. If someone wants to ask a question, you can either unmute yourself or type it in the little Zoom chat. If you have that, feel free to go ahead and either unmute yourself, or you can do a question in the little Zoom chat. And we'll just keep it open for a couple seconds. But I'll keep it open for a couple of seconds. Here. Oh, you know what else I wrote down? And someone else was saying that they love this too. I love you talking about be your own billboard. Y'all, you got to think about, now that you are on Facebook, now that you're a Plexus ambassador, you are running a business on Facebook. So you really want to make sure that you are being that picture of health and wellness. I mean, we all like to go have a cheeseburger or a milkshake or whatever every once in a while. And that's something that's okay to post about every once in a while, but you want to make sure that you are being this picture of health and wellness, that you are, kind of leading by example, that you are being positive on Facebook, that if you go through your Facebook, you got to think, is this something that is attracting other people? So, being positive on Facebook is really big thing too. And I think we got.
Well, you're not attracted to someone, or you don't want to do business with someone who does not have that positive personality, or doesn't have that, I don't know what word I'm looking for. I'm just lost it, but you know what I mean. That you look on Facebook and you go, you're just annoyed by everything they post. You don't want to be that person. You want to be that person that people are drawn to, that people like to see let's see what she posted, or let's see what he posted. You want to be that. So when you're branding yourself, don't just think about just the health and wellness aspect of it, but how are you branding yourself on your Facebook page? What if somebody didn't know you and they went and just scrolled down your Facebook page? What would they think about you? What kind of person would they think that you are?
Yes, I love that.
I do that sometimes too. I'll scroll down my Facebook and be like, what would somebody think if they were just scrolling down my Facebook page? Would they see Plexus? Do they even know that you do Plexus? I mean, would they even figure that out? I mean, I've had people come to me and say, oh, my cousin just signed up with someone else. And I'm like, have you ever talked to her about it? Well, no. Well, have you ever posted about it? Well, not in a long time. Well, how was she supposed to know?
Yes. I love that. That is so true, is making sure that you are sharing if you are doing Plexus, that you are sharing on Facebook. Now, I have a question, Melissa. When you started, did you because I know that you said you weren't interested. So about how long did it take before you decided you were going to work the business?
I posted about it when my welcome pack came in.
Okay.
Because I was curious to see if people were going to be like, oh, or what. I kind of had that fear in the beginning. Well, I did have that fear. I didn't kind of anything. I had that fear in the beginning of what are people going to think about me if I start posting about this multi-level marketing thing, because we've all seen those multi-level marketing things that people get involved in and then they quit. And so that was kind of my mentality. I didn't want people to think I had just, decided not to go back to work and this was the only thing that I could do with my life, and I'll be honest, I think we all kind of have that in the back of our mind a little bit. Maybe you don't, but most of us do. And it's that pride coming out. And so I just put it out there just to see what people would say. And I could not believe the response that I got. People were like, wow, messaging me like crazy. And is this stuff really work for you? And why are you taking it? And they knew that I wasn't looking for weight loss at the time. So they didn't know why I would be taking it. And that kind of gave me a way to share. And so I think it was after kind of seeing that I thought, okay, well, I can definitely get my products paid for. And I remember telling my husband at the time, he was actually in this office and I had gotten a customer and I ran in here and I was like, what if I could just what if one day I could make my car payment? Would that not be awesome? I mean, maybe I could do that one day. Y'all, I had no idea. That one day I would be driving a free car and I would be doubling our household income, which is what I've done, completely doubled it. So it was just crazy that I thought at the time, oh my gosh, what if I could make a car payment, and that was, it happened very, very, very quickly. So.
That's awesome. So you just started, posted about your welcome pack, and then you just started from there. Now, did you reach out to people immediately, or did that take a little time?
That not the first month, but probably the second month. I think it was funny because one of my biggest runner on my team, or she has the biggest team on my team, was a cold message. And some of you know her, it's Lacey Hughes, and she was a friend of mine from college. And Lindsay was like, have you reached out to her? And I was like, no, because I wanted to say I really haven't reached out to anybody like that because I was terrified to do that. But I reached out to her and she was like, you know what? I am tired all the time. And I really would like to try this. And I think that would be fun to do the business. And, she loved the idea of helping other people get healthy. She wanted to get healthier. And so when she took me up on the offer and she kind of went for it straight out of the gate, I was like, oh, I'm doing this all the time. And I kind of saw the benefit of that. I will tell you, if you're on this call and you're listening and you're afraid to cold message, my biggest runners on my team, I would probably say a majority of them, at least 75% of the biggest runners on my team were cold messages for me. So if you are not wanting to cold message, you're missing out on your market.
Yeah. And you know what? I will say the same thing too. Probably 98% of the people that have joined my team and that are working the business have joined my team because I've reached out to them. Some people are kind of, I think, intimidated to reach out to you. And so you're just kind of opening that door. And you know what? If they don't respond back to you, that's okay, because you're really kind of, that initial message that you send to people is not necessarily so that they'll respond back. It's planting a seed. And sometimes, and I know you probably had this experience, I've had people that I've sent messages to for 2 years before they've even responded.
Absolutely.
But I have someone that I sent a message to, and then now 2 years later, now she's almost a gold ambassador. So you just never know. And sometimes it's all about the timing with people as well.
And don't get people, if they tell you no in the beginning, keep following up with them. Because I've had a couple like that I told me no, and I followed that and I said, listen, I really, really think you would be so amazing at this. And I would love for you to come do this with me. Holland Jackson told me no, or not now. probably 10 times before she joined my team. So, and now she's happy.
No, I love that. And I am, I mean, this was some really, really great information. Thank you so much for sharing your tips and for taking the time out with your family to spend time with us tonight and share with us. I cannot wait to see you in just a couple of weeks. So I'm so excited. And I hope that all of you have a great night tonight. Now, we will have our next Tips from the Tops call will be next Monday. So stay tuned and be on the lookout for that. And I hope you all have a great night.
Thanks, Angie.
Thank you.